Hello, welcome to another episode of Deb's Artsy Life. I think this might be episode 49 or 50. I'm not sure. I think it's 49. But I've got a lot to share with you today. I want to share some thoughts that I've been thinking and some plans for the year and some projects that I'm working on and completing and some that I am planning. So I've got a lot to talk about, and I hope you'll stick around and I hope you'll enjoy this. I've been thinking a lot about, I sat and wrote in my journal just like 12 pages the other day, just thinking about things. And one thing I've been thinking about is how the internet influences our purchasing, or at least mine. And I was thinking about how I used to just kind of be content with what I had, and I didn't feel like I needed to have all the supplies for whatever craft I was doing. And it seems like, as I look back, the internet, when there started to be online classes, Facebook, Instagram, and all those things, and blogging. I had a blog back in 2006 till about 2014. And that, looking back, is when I started purchasing so many supplies. That's when I started purchasing more books. I started purchasing more art supplies, and then with yarn, it's all led into hoarding yarn now. So I was just thinking about how we're influenced, and also the ease of ordering online. It is so super easy to just click a button and you've spent $100, and it's so much easier to do it that way than it is to hand it over in a store. So I have struggled with that very much. I have got way too much of everything. And the older I get, the more I think that too much is really too much. And it kind of overwhelms me when I go to create. I've got so many options and so many supplies. And so I'm saying all this, and I'm wondering if you feel this, if you struggle with this. I have sort of an addictive personality. Thank goodness I'm more addicted to coffee and yarn and books and art supplies than, something really bad for me. But still, you don't want to be addicted necessarily to anything or obsessed with anything. So I'm working on this. And one thing that I know without a doubt, I have more yarn than I can probably use in the next 10 years, 15, 20 years, maybe for the rest of my life. I have enough yarn right now to keep me busy for decades. I have far more art supplies than I do yarn. I have every kind of colored pencil known to man, all the watercolors, paper, markers, you name it, I've got it. And yet I see a sale or a new supply, and I want to keep buying, and I want to keep buying, and I want to keep buying. And I think my thing is color. I mean, as you can tell by this picture, I love color, bright, bright colors. So anything that I can use to work with my hands and it has bright color to it, then I'm on it. If it's colored pencils, I want all the colors. If it's, all the bright colors at least. And yarn is the same way. So that is part of my problem. But I'm thinking about the way my art was before the internet was really popular. Back when my daughter was small, really small. She was born in 96. So, the early 90s, the internet and online shopping was not so prevalent. Now we have endless inspiration. We have endless sales. I am constantly being bombarded with sales and a new this and a new that. There's always something new and it's always on sale. Have you noticed that? And I struggle. I struggle because I want the new yarn. I want the new whatever. I want the new book. Even though I may not even take time to read, I want that book on my shelf. I want to own it. So I was thinking back. I used to draw. I wasn't influenced by something you see on Instagram. I wasn't going down all these rabbit holes. I used to draw portraits. And I used to really, I feel like, work at my art. And it was focused. I wanted to paint still lifes. I would set up still lifes and paint watercolors like on a Saturday. I would draw portraits of people's dogs or their children. And as I've gotten older, I don't want to do that anymore. One is it's difficult. It's not easy to get a likeness of a dog or a portrait of somebody. But my daughter wants me to draw my grandchildren. And I have this fear of not doing a good job or of just putting pencil to paper and doing it. And I started listing all of the portraits that I'd done over the years. And I thought, how can I not draw my own grandchildren? I mean, I've got to get back into this. And I thought, maybe if I stayed off the internet and stayed off Instagram and stopped being so bombarded with inspiration, I could focus on what's important to me. And that is, leaving something of value for my daughter and my grandsons. And my, I don't know, family is what's so important. And I thought, I don't want to worry about selling my art. I want to focus on, I really want to focus on drawing my grandchildren. And, that's important to me. And so I was writing about all that. And another thing I want to do this year is to stop buying, to just stop. I wrote, there has to be some point where I stop, turn around, and do things differently. You can't keep doing the same things over and over, knowing that it's not what you want to do. It's not healthy. And so I thought, maybe this could be the year in 2025 to declutter and use up what I have, to reprioritize, and stop feeling like the stuff owns me. It's like, oh, I've got to crochet, I've got to knit, I've got to use up this yarn, I've got to get all this done because I have the supplies, or I've got to go in here and paint because I have all this watercolor. That's when the stuff owns you. And I don't want to feel that. I don't want to go in my studio and be overwhelmed. And so, anyway, I've just been thinking about all that. And sometimes I will purchase yarn and then I'll feel either overwhelmed by it because, you can only use so much. And I'll tell my husband, oh, I wish I had 10 pairs of hands. Well, the reality is I don't, and I never will have 10 pairs of hands. So somehow I've got to limit my expectations on myself because, that can be, you don't want your hobby to become stressful. And so I hope that you guys kind of can relate to what I'm saying. I wanted to show you, I did this little sketch of my grandson. It doesn't really look like him, but I thought if I could just take this sketchbook and, sketch from my photographs and just, I don't have to show this to anybody. Of course, I just showed it to you, but that doesn't mean I'll, I don't have to show it to anybody. It's just a sketchbook. And I can hopefully practice in this sketchbook and become comfortable again with drawing and drawing, realistic portraits and capturing that likeness. And maybe I'll enjoy it again. So that's one thing I've been thinking about. And I want to tell you one other thing. I've been stitching. I'll go through this and then I'll get to the yarny things, okay? I started this and finished it. This little square matches my shirt. It's just running stitches, just straight stitches. I just tore little strips of fabric and placed them on the little square pieces that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. And this is the other one. I finished it. I figured there's only so many stitches you can put on this one little square. It's really a lot of stitches, and they're all just straight. Here's the back. It's just a piece of wool felt, excuse me. Here's the back of this one. So as you can see, it's not necessarily neat, and I don't really know what to do with this. I thought about sewing them together and making a little mug rug or something, or putting them in a stitch journal, which is probably what I'll do. But that was fun. And I can't say it was all soothing, because I went back to using 3 strands of that new thread, and it was really hard to pull that through. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink of water. I've fought a cold all week, and that's why I didn't film last weekend. I had this big fever blister and a cold. I want you to look down in, well, let's do it like this. This was so much fun this week. I went to Hobby Lobby, and my daughter had given me a gift card for Christmas. And I went and spent some of it on this lovely thread, DMC thread. It was 53 cents per skein. And I just went through and picked up all these gorgeous colors. Just randomly, just whatever appealed to me. So I needed to replenish my supply, because I had shared my embroidery with my daughter. Here's 2 more. Like yellows. I'd shared my embroidery with my daughter, and she was doing it for a while before the babies were born. And so a lot of my thread had gotten gone, but just look at that. Is that not beautiful? And I'll tell you my favorite. I want to go back and get more of this. It's like a robin's egg blue. I think that is the most beautiful thread. And then here's some that I got a couple years ago, and I had just put them by color families. This is the moss and the plums and the fuchsia. And the straw. So I had fun getting embroidery thread, and there again, it's just whatever will make color. That's what I'm drawn to. Okay, so I wanted to show you this scarf. I talked about it in my last video, my last episode, but I completed this right before Christmas, and I blocked it because part of the yarn was wool, and it just really needed to be blocked. So I wore this at Christmas with this sweater. But isn't this beautiful? This is that Gala yarn from Premier, and then just a red acrylic. I can't even remember what it is. And then a wool hand-dyed, hand-spun yarn that I had. And I think the hand-dyed, hand-spun I didn't have enough of it to really make anything on its own, so I held it with this, and, well, I guess it could have made a scarf, but maybe I didn't know how much I had. But anyway, I think it just adds to this red. It gives it so much depth and texture. So I wanted to share that with you. And I'm so cold, I'm just going to leave it on even though I know it's not Christmas. Okay. The other thing I want to show you, I talked about it in the last video. I wanted to show you what my husband bought me for Christmas. All this beautiful yarn. Have you ever? I had it in my cart. Premier Basics is what it is. And it was on sale over the holidays for $3 a skein. And I had it in my cart, and he wanted to buy me something else for Christmas. And I said, well, you can just buy me the yarn that's in my cart. So I'll show you this beautiful bag I made. And I've got it all down in here. I just gotta hold it up one more time. Is that not beautiful? This is, there's two reds in here. This is called just red. So it's kind of like a scarlet. And this is cherry red, which is more of a blue red. You can see the difference. This camera is incredible. I hope the video loads as good as it looks for me. It's so clear. I got a new phone. I think I told you that. So the camera is amazing. I did this granny square, but I'm not too pleased with it. It's too chaotic for me. I was just playing with the yarn at Christmas. This is Serenity Chunky Candy from Premier. And it's a bulky yarn, but this Premier Basics is so thick that you can really use bulky with it if you use like the same hook, like an eye hook for all of it. But anyway, what do you think of this? Does it look too chaotic to you? I don't know. I was just playing around. But, okay, now I'm getting hot. I got to take this off. But I hope you like it. It's just knitted garter stitch. Okay. I need to put this away. This is the avocado thread. Okay. I've been trying really hard to finish some things because I have got about 30 or more whips that are just languishing. I do a little bit on each one of them, but I wonder if I'm ever going to finish anything. So I've had this laying around for a while, and it's a blanket that I started, I don't know how long ago. I don't know if I can show it to you, but it's basically a lap blanket. It's using, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and all kinds of things that go with it. Like this is from Michael's, the Impeccable, well, I think it's just Loops and Threads Impeccable. There you go. But anyway, I've just kind of put all the blues and greens together, and I put this border on it. I added to it. I added just about all this right here, and made it bigger, and then put the border on. And this is a moss stitch border, but somehow I got it going. It's supposed to be like a checkerboard, but mine's lining up, so I don't know what I did. But anyway, it made a good little border, so I'm happy with it. And I like to wrap up on the couch with this, and it matches my sweater too. You can tell I like lime green. So I finished that, and I really want to get some hospice blankets completed. I've got so many going. So, and all they really are is just one big granny square to make a 36 by 36 square, because that's what hospice wants. So this is one that I've almost got finished. And this was inspired by a page in Katie Daisy's book, How to Be a Wildflower, I think. Anyway, I don't know which is the front. This is the front side, but you see I've got ends to sew. Excuse me, I'm still coughing. So I hope to finish this today. It's almost there. I think I've got a couple more rows. I'm going to put some pink in and then finish it off. So that's one. And I'm probably going to keep this one because my favorite colors are blues and greens. So I've also been knitting on this. Some nights I just want to knit. It's going to be a triangle shawl, and it's using that Karen Colorama Halo. So as y'all can see, I've got enough projects going right now to last me for a long, long, long time. Here's another blanket that I've been working on for a while. I started 2 of them. This will be a hospice blanket. And again, it's just a 36 by 36. I need to do something about a border on this one. I may just do, I don't know, I'll do something simple, I think. But that's the front. And I just started out with that flower square and then just kept going. And used all kinds of different coordinating yarns. So that's almost finished. I just need to do a border. And then this is the second one, which is basically the same, except it's using the same yarns, but it's different. And it's not quite big enough yet. I've got to do a lot more to it, but these look really pretty on camera. I'm kind of sick of them because I've been working on them for probably 6 months or more, maybe a year. I just do a little bit at a time, and then I put them away and I go on to something else because I get distracted. But they'll get done eventually. Hopefully soon. My sweater, I am almost finished with, but I just didn't want to work on it anymore, basically. It's gotten down to the, I mean, it is, excuse me while I put it on for you. It is all but done. I just got to finish this sleeve, and I'm going to add some more to this sleeve, I think. I'm not sure. And I've got to put this border on the bottom, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I think it needs the ribbing to finish it off. So it is really close to being done. And I have no idea why I don't finish it. What do y'all think? I just designed this myself, and it's just double crochet stitches, and it's drop shoulder, and then I did the front post, back post double crochet border. But I really like it. I do. I need to finish it because it's really pretty, and it's gonna be warm this coming week, but I need to finish it by next week. Not this week, but next, because it's going to get cold again. And I mean, it's got to be cold for you to wear this. But it comes down about to my knees, and it's in this Rainbow Bitty Stripes yarn. Super Saver Bitty Stripes in the colorway Retro Rainbow, I think. Or Rainbow. Anyway, I love it. I love it so much. I do, but boy, is it hot. Okay, so I need to finish that, but I just stopped on it because it was for me, and I thought I can do this, but I've got to get some of those hospice blankets done because I know they need them, I know they want them, and I don't know. So, still working on these squares. This is more Bitty Stripes. This will be a hospice blanket. These are a lot easier because you're only using one skein of yarn and you don't have ends to sew in. But I'm still also working on this shawl with the crayon box colorway. But I'll admit, I haven't done anything on it in a good while. Somebody asked me, I think, if I had a pattern or a tutorial. I'm just making this up as I go. So, no. I just made this up. And that's why I call it a crazy shawl, because it's just crazy. It's all kinds of stitches, and I'm using a 7mm hook on this though. The yarn calls for a 5.5, so that's how much bigger I went, and I love it. I love the drape of it. So I've got to finish that, but again, that's kind of for me, so I'm putting it on the back burner. Oh, y'all, when I look around this living room, I am absolutely, it's amazing to me the stitches that I have made. I mean, it's just insane. Okay, now we were talking about yarn, so I wanted to tell you, I just started thinking about all the yarn I have and all the different projects I could make with it. I have all the colors that I like. I have a ton of colors of anti-peeling, Premier, is it Premier anti-peeling? Everyday anti-peeling or something like that. And then I had bought some white and black from Mary Maxim, I think. One of them is a discontinued Mona Lisa. That's the white. And the black is something else that was on sale. So I want to make a blanket using all those anti-peeling yarns and the black and white. Probably I could make 2 blankets because that's how much yarn I have. So those have been in the closet for a while. I need to use those up. And then I've got all this Heartland yarn. So I got thinking about it because it was just scattered all over the closet. I used to do my yarn closet in a rainbow color way, you know, store it as a rainbow. But lately I've started doing it by brand and keeping the brands together. So what I did was I took all the Heartland that I've got. This is like one of those 31 bags. There is a ton of yarn in here. And there's yarn in every color imaginable. We've got orange and blue. So anyway, I thought I want to make a blanket. Here's some red and more orange and yellow. I mean, it's like all the pretty colors of line brand Heartland yarn. And then I've got these 2 colors in an abundance that I could use to join the squares together. So that's a project that I want to start. And so I've put all the yarn in here. And one thing I wanted to do was just get it off the shelves because it was scattered everywhere, and get it all together. And that way I can make granny squares out of these colors. So stay tuned for that. But I do not need any more yarn. And y'all, it is the hardest thing. It is one of the hardest things I've ever done to stop buying yarn, because Joann's is going out of business. And so there's all these videos on the internet, you know, stock up on Joann's yarn while you can get it. And I just don't want it. I'm just like, no, I cannot do it. But then I'll load up my cart, you know. I'll load up my shopping cart, and I don't know. And then Yarnspirations has got all new colors of this Bitty Stripes. And there's like six new colors that are oh so gorgeous. And I want them so bad. And it's on sale. But the saving grace right now is that 3 of the colors are out of stock. Now they came back in stock, all but one of them, one day last week. And I had to fight with myself to keep from placing an $82 order to get all those new colors in abundance. And I can't do it. I mean, I guess I have this fear that they're not going to make the yarn anymore, because I truly, truly love it. I think this is one of the prettiest yarns that ever came out on the market as far as acrylic. So I don't know how long I can hold off buying it, but I would love to stop buying and use what I have and see how much my checking account, I would benefit from that financially, I would benefit from that mentally, and I would not be so overwhelmed, and I could actually, what happens is we buy all this new yarn, Well, then I don't want to use the old stuff. You know, I've got all this old yarn, like the Premier anti-pilling, and it just sits there. So, and then I'll start these projects in certain colors, and then, you know, this new yarn comes out, and I buy it, and then I don't want to do the old project anymore. So I'm struggling. I struggle with that so bad, and it is so easy to fill up your shopping cart and just click a button, and you've got like 20 skeins of yarn coming in the mail, and then you've got to figure out how to store them. Then you've got to figure out how to use them. So I don't know. I know that it's an addiction. It's an addiction to the joy of having a package come in the mail. It's an addiction of, you know, the thrill of that, the thrill of putting it in the cart, the thrill of taking it out of the box, the thrill of showing it to you guys. But at the end of the day, it just sits in my closet and waits to be used, and I've got all this pressure, feeling like I've got to, you know, crochet like a machine, and that's not what this is about. It's supposed to be relaxing. And it is. I do love to crochet. I love to knit. But here, I forgot to mention this. This is my biggest goal for this year. And that is to maintain a calm spirit. Because over the holidays, I had I had 9 days off. And I was, you know, doing all my crafts and all my favorite creative things, and I had an abundance of time. We didn't do a lot over Christmas, so I was here and I was just able to catch up on my projects and create and just feed my soul. And I was so calm when I went back to work, and I've been able to maintain that through January for the most part. But my goal is to try and, you know, when you get all uptight and you get all excited about buying stuff, it's like I almost get hyper, like I'm just, and then it's like you get all the stuff that you've purchased. This happened to me at Christmas because I was just buying all this stuff because it was on sale. And then you get all this stuff and you put it away and you realize you've got way too much stuff. And so then you get this feeling of being let down, of being kind of depressed, of not even having interest in doing any of it because it's too much. And so I want to get off that wheel. I want to get off that wheel. I just can't. I cannot keep doing this. And then I end up getting rid of yarn. Then I regret getting rid of it. Then I buy more. I mean, it's just got to stop. There has to be a point where you stop, turn around, and go the other way. So I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about, and let me know in the comments if you struggle with this, because what I want to do is maintain a sense of just calm, you know, just doing what I love, enjoying my craft, enjoying the time, and not producing. Oh gosh, y'all, I produced so much for that festival back in October. There was going to be this Fall into Art Festival. No, it was September. And that hurricane come, and so we didn't have the festival. But I had stressed the entire year of 2024, from May of 2023 to September of 2024, I was like a machine trying to produce art and produce all these bags, and it was insane. And I don't want to produce. I want to enjoy. I want to savor the experience of these crafts and do it for other people, gifts, hospice, my daughter, the joy of it. I forgot to show you one thing. I started this project. I've been wanting to do this for a while. This is with the Karen Colorama Halo. This is a 12-point star blanket. It was sitting here beside of me and I'd forgotten this, I know y'all have seen this on my channel before. I've got an orange and hot pink colorway, and then I've got this blue and green. The blue and green is going to be for me because those are my favorite colors together, and the orange and hot pink is going to be for my daughter because she likes yellow and purple, and while it's not exactly that, I think she'll like it. She loves the shape of the blanket, of the 12-point star blanket. Here's the other colorway, that's the center, because I wanted it to look like the sun. So I started out with that yellow. Y'all, this is the softest yarn you have ever felt in your life. It's so much fun to crochet with. And so I think I'm using a 7mm hook. I think it calls for a 6mm. I don't know. Gosh, I need to know what I'm using, don't I? Maybe it is a 6mm. But anyway, that's another thing that I started. And it's in this gorgeous, gorgeous bag that I made. And I also started, I wanted to work with these yarns that I got at Christmas while they were on sale. One of those times when I was just buying like crazy. This is anti-peeling bamboo chunky, and I got it for practically nothing at Premier Yarns during Christmas. And I got a bunch of it, and I showed it on a video. But I started this little scarf, and it's just, I'm making up the pattern, just garter stitch and stockinette stitch on straight needles. And look at my little needle stoppers, aren't they adorable? I bought those on Amazon. So I've been having, as you can tell, all sorts of fun. I think that's all, guys. I think that's all I wanted to show you. As you can tell, I'm busy, but I'm not overwhelmed anymore. I'm just enjoying everything, and there's no deadline. There's no problem about anything I'm doing. I just do whatever I'm in the mood for that night. Usually I crochet at night while we watch TV. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it, please share it, and subscribe if you've not subscribed, and make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. So thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, or whatever it is in your neck of the woods. Today it's Sunday about 4 o'clock. So I'm going to get off and work on some of these wonderful projects. Talk to you later.